Hey guys, Britt here. Welcome to End Times Bible Prophecy. Make sure to hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons. Well, today we're going to look at what I believe is part of an intentional plan to control us. In fact, there's no doubt in my mind that this is intentional. And we're going to look at that, why that's very clear. But what isn't so clear is what is the motive behind what they're doing. And I think the motive is nothing less than leading to an authoritarian control over our lives, setting up the mark of the beast system in the future. That's where all of this is leading. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this right here. So this is an article from Yahoo Finance about retail theft. So we're going to talk about why this epidemic of retail theft is intentionally planned, put into effect, in order to lead to something that is going to give the government ultimate control over our lives. And I know that sounds conspiratorial, but hang on, because we're going to connect all of these dots and look at exactly what this means. So this says, retail theft, Walmart, Home Depot, Target, detail unacceptable amount of crime. Executives at Walmart, Home Depot, and Target all weighed in on the inventory shrink issue this earnings season. So inventory shrink is their politically correct way of saying stealing, thievery, and just robbery, right? So it says porch pirates aren't the only problem. Porch pirates being people that steal packages off of your porch. It says thieves are going straight to the source. Inventory shrinkage, the loss of items to retail theft, organized crime, damage, vendor fraud, and other factors is still a major headache for U.S. retailers. At least that was a common thread heard on recent earnings calls from Home Depot, Target, Walmart, and other large retailers last week. On Wednesday, Target CEO Brian Cornell said the retailer is up against an unacceptable amount of retail theft and organized retail crime. Last November, Target CFO Michael Fidelki, not sure if I'm saying that right, said the disappearance of merchandise caused a $400 million hit to the retailer's gross profit margin for the year. And of course, you've seen, I'm sure, numerous articles and seen videos on social media about all of this. But this article details a lot of what's going on. And then it says, successful outcomes for the thieves are only making matters worse. Mark Claxton, Director of Political Affairs and Public Relations at the Black Law Enforcement Alliance and a former NYPD officer, told Yahoo Finance. Claxton warned that thieves are becoming more violent, more aggressive, more frequent with more people. The issue gained more attention last weekend after thieves got away with roughly $300,000 in merchandise after a flash rob at a Nordstrom in California. So this is when a whole bunch of people converge on a location. They overwhelm all of the staff, they grab as much stuff as they can, and they run away. It says they're in a position now where these types of flash robberies, these smash and grabs, or they've been called mobberies, are very lucrative and very successful for them, Claxton said. So until there are things put in place to mitigate damage or to resist this current surge, there's going to be an increase in these types of activities. So catch that last sentence, until something is put in place, and we're going to talk about exactly what that is. And of course, we're going to see increases in this because this is the policy of many jurisdictions. As we see here, this is a tweet from Wall Street Silver. They say in California, they don't even have to run anymore when leaving the stores. And of course, if you can see part of this video down at the bottom, there's just people walking out with loads of stuff. It says, one, they stay below $950, which keeps their risk low, because in California, the prosecutors have decided, well, if you steal $1,000 or less than $1,000 of merchandise from a store, it's just a misdemeanor. So it's leading these criminals to say, well, okay, if you're not really going to do anything to me, then I'll go do this. And so they stake out exactly how much they can steal and get away with it. It says, 2, they know the store policy is to not interfere and not call officers. So many stores have these policies for various reasons. Some are woke corporations that they think this is somehow, discriminatory toward the thieves. Or in many cases, it's the lawyers for these companies saying, well, if you tell the employees to stop them and then the employees get hurt trying to stop a thief, then we're subject to a lawsuit. Or if the thief gets hurt, then the thief could sue the store. That's the world we live in. And so they say, just let them get away with it. And then it says, 3, they know officers are instructed not to chase them because in many cases, officers are told, well, you endanger the lives in public by chasing after criminals. So they are instructed not to chase criminals, again, by some of these same prosecutors. So again, this comes back to this is intentional. These are intentional policies put in place that are making this happen. Again, people are responsible for their own actions, no doubt. But when you give criminals this type of, latitude, they're going to take it. And it says 4, even if caught, they know it will likely be dismissed. And why will it likely be dismissed? Well, it will likely be dismissed because these same prosecutors, these same politicians, same people in power in these governments are allowing this to happen. So no doubt about it, this is intentional. And there can be many reasons why. People have speculated, well, are they trying to divide us? Are they trying to destroy America, destroy the cities? But guys, this isn't just a US problem. This is all over the world. This isn't just California. There's articles about this in Europe, articles about this in Australia. This is going on all over the place. And I ran across this video. I'm sure you see many videos just like what we just saw, but I ran across this video a couple of days ago and it got me thinking, and that's how I arrived at this idea. This is why they're allowing all this to happen. It's a trap, guys. So this is Dan from I Allegedly. I don't know, maybe some of you watch his program. It's not necessarily a Christian program, but I watch this all the time. He does these 7 days a week, and he walks around different locations, parks and beachfront property, and just gives his thoughts on the news of the day. And he was talking in this video about his son needed some clothing for a new job. And so he took him to Walmart. And when he got to Walmart, he ran across this right here. So here he's in front of underwear, men's underwear under lock and key, because thievery, the stealing of the men's underwear was so out of hand, they had to lock it up. Same with the belts. And then he goes on to say, well, I talked to some of the retail workers there, and they said more of these cases are coming next week. So basically, they're having to case up everything because it's just getting stolen for many of the policies we just talked about, which again are intentionally put into place, knowing it will lead to this rash of stealing, this epidemic of thievery. So how does all this fit together? Let's connect these dots. Well, when I saw this video, it started me thinking about, well, what is the likely fix for these executives at Walmart, at Target, at Home Depot, all these big corporations, because they can't just allow this to continue. It will destroy the companies. So they have to do something to stop this. And there were several things suggested in different articles that I've looked at. Well, what if they get rid of the self-checkouts and bring back the lanes that you stand in and someone has to check you out? Well, from the executive leadership standpoint, they're sitting there looking at that and going, okay, well, you have these retrofits of stores we just retrofit. That's going to cost a lot. But then we would have to pay these workers, an additional 20 or 30 workers an hour, $15 to $20 an hour. And what's to keep people from just walking out of the store anyway with the merchandise? So that's a no-go, guys. The self-checkouts are here to stay. But then, okay, well, what about security guards? You could put security guards at the exit and make sure that they don't do that. Well, that's not going to work either, because we've all been to stores where they had the security guards and they like to stand up front and put on a good face, but then the thieves just walk right past them because, again, the store policy is not to interfere, because what if the security guard gets hurt and sues the company? Or what if the thief gets hurt by the security guard and sues the company? So they know, and the thieves know, that the security guard, they're just going to stand there and let them walk out. They're not going to be under arrest. So that's not the solution either. What about locking things up, as we just saw in this video that Dan put together? Well, you could put everything behind lock and key, but then you're driving people more to the internet, because one of the reasons people like to go and shop in retail stores, they like to pick things up, they like to look at it, like to get the individual one. Then even after your employee comes and opens that case up so that people can get what they want, what's to stop them from just walking out of the store at that point with what they get out of the case? Nothing, because again, the store policy is not to interfere with that. So what is the solution if you run one of these corporations? Well, I think it's very clear what the solution is, and it is this right here. We looked at this not long ago. This is a post Chris Martinson put up. He put, she has no idea what comes next, because he knows where all of this is leading, that this leads to tyranny. But here, this is a woman at a Whole Foods scanning her palm to pay for her groceries. And she's just mystified. Oh, this is just so amazing that I can scan my palm and pay for my groceries. And of course, he's saying she has no idea what that means, what it's leading to. Well, what is she using here? She's using Amazon's Palm Pay technology. So let's read a little bit about this, and we'll connect the dots on how the thievery is going to lead to the rollout of this technology everywhere you shop. So this says Amazon releases new cashless pay-by-palm technology that requires only a hand wave. It says Amazon is taking cashless payments to another level. In a new rollout, the tech giant is giving customers another contactless way to pay for groceries with their palms. In a statement Thursday, Amazon announced that the palm recognition service called Amazon One will be used for payment, identification, loyalty membership, and entry. Don't forget that, entry at over 500 Whole Foods and Amazon Fresh locations across the nation by the end of the year. Instead of pulling out a credit card or even a phone for Apple Pay, subscribing customers will simply have to hover their palms over an Amazon One device to pay. And if you are already a Prime member, you can link your membership with Amazon One to apply any savings or benefits to your purchase as well. How convenient. Isn't that wonderful? Are you ready to sign up? If so, leave your comments below. But it says the technology is already available at 200 locations across 20 states, including Arizona, California, Idaho, Oregon, and Mississippi. By the end of the year, you won't need your wallet to pay when checking out at any of the 500 plus U.S. Whole Foods, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy tweeted. But you don't just have to shop at Whole Foods to take advantage of the convenient new technology. According to the statement, many other businesses are implementing Amazon One as a payment, identification, and secure entry tool. Hopefully you're starting to put the dots together here on where this is all going. It says Panera Bread, for example, has adopted the technology so that customers can simply wave their hands above the device in order to pull up their My Panera loyalty account information and pay for their meals. According to the company, palm payment is secure and cannot be replicated because the technology looks at both the palm and the underlying vein structure to create unique palm signatures for each customer. Each palm signature is associated with a numerical vector representation and is securely stored in the AWS cloud. That's Amazon Web Services, Amazon said. I love this line here. They say a palm is the safest biometric to use because you cannot identify a person by it. What? Obviously you can, or they wouldn't be using it for people to purchase their groceries. You know, if you can't identify me as the one purchasing the groceries, how do you know what card to charge? So they can talk about numerical vector representations and it's all encoded and encrypted all they want, but we all know that's not true. It says the tech company assured customers that their palm data will not be shared with third parties, including, quote, in response to government demands. Guys, if you believe that, if you really believe that, yeah, leave your comments below. Let us know. If I were dishonest, I would try to sell you, the title and the deed to the Brooklyn Bridge if you actually believe that. That is absolutely ridiculous. We know these tech companies have a direct connection to the government. Governments all around the world, they don't hesitate to give those governments whatever they ask for. So this is completely ridiculous. And of course, this is akin to an official government denial. Whenever they come out and deny something that nobody's really asking about, because, this article didn't even bring it up. Why are they saying this? Oh, because everybody immediately says, I'm not sure about that. It says, in order to register a Palm, an Amazon customer can pre-enroll online with a credit or debit card, Amazon account and phone number, and then complete the enrollment process by scanning their Palm anywhere an Amazon One device is in use. And keep that in mind, anywhere it's in use. It says, we are always looking for new ways to delight our customers and improve the shopping experience, Leandro Balbino, Chief Technology Officer at Whole Foods Market, said, since we've introduced Amazon One at Whole Foods Market stores over the past 2 years, we've seen that customers love the convenience it provides. They just love it. So guys, again, do you love this? Do you use this? If so, leave your comments below. But did you pick up on what that article was saying about that this would be used for identification, not just pay, but identification and secure entry into the retail establishment? And again, we're not talking about just Whole Foods, but anywhere that Amazon One is used, anywhere the system is used. And there's tremendous profits to be made by Amazon by licensing this out to anybody that wants to use it. So expect this to spread, and that's exactly what we're seeing, guys. Let's take a look at this article. This is from GeekWire. It says, inside the first liquor store to use Amazon's cashierless technology. It says, now you can just walk out with a bottle of tequila. Amazon's cashierless technology experience has made its way into a liquor store for the first time ever. So again, this is a store that is not owned by Amazon, but they're using Amazon's technology. It says Seattle-based Downtown Spirits opened a new 4,200 square foot location earlier this month featuring the tech giant's, quote, just walk out system that replaces the traditional checkout process by tracking shoppers with overhead computer vision cameras as they move around. This weekend, we checked out the store located just a stone's throw away from Amazon's headquarters campus in downtown Seattle. The experience is a little cumbersome at first. After walking inside, customers need to download the Downtown Spirits app, add credit card information, and sign up for the company's membership program. 30-day free trials are offered before they can enter the shopping area. Let me repeat that. Before they can enter the shopping area, they have to do this. It says that can dissuade some customers. In fact, one person left after hearing the store workers explain how it all worked. But 4 others we spoke with seemed either happy or apathetic about the whole thing. Kevin Lewis, a Tacoma, Washington resident, didn't understand what was happening when he entered. After all, it's a bit awkward seeing people at the front of a liquor store on their phones gated off from the aisles. But after that, it was smooth sailing for Lewis. Scanned the QR code, walked in, started putting stuff in my bag, and I just walked out, he said. Courtney Limmo, who was visiting Seattle from Cleveland, said she likes the old school way of shopping. But I can adapt and get over it, she said. Cashierless tech can help reduce or eliminate long lines, something that's particularly evident at sports stadiums using Amazon's system. But for downtown spirits, one of the key benefits of cashierless tech is to address shoplifting. Bingo, guys. This rash of shoplifting that they're allowing to happen, that they're actually causing to happen with these policies that have been put in place that are helping to facilitate the shoplifting. How is that shoplifting problem going to be overcome? It's going to be overcome with the technology we're reading about right here. So it goes on. It says, knowing your customer before they walk into the store greatly reduces the risk that someone is going to walk out with something that you didn't receive compensation for, said Downtown Spirits president Marcus Warren. That really was the impetus for me reaching out to Amazon to pursue this technology. And it's not just about the bottom line. It's the psychological impact on the team who have to deal with it day in and day out, Warren said. We're able to prevent that by preventing people from actually even coming into the store where they have access to the product. We're able to divert them, identify them as a risk, and either onboard them or politely escort them out. Let me translate that, guys. The security guard won't be put at the store exit to stop the shoplifters from leaving. The security guard will be put at the front door to make sure that you do not enter unless you have first scanned in with your palm, with your app, your QR code, whatever it may be, identifying you. And at that point, they don't care what you do. Whatever you pick up and walk out with will be charged to the credit card or the bank account associated with the scan that they received before you even walked in. So that's how that's where all of this is going, guys. Let's read on. It says, in a traditional spirit store, Warren said bottles are typically kept waist high so managers can quickly scan the sales floor. He said the cashierless tech enables him to squeeze more product on shelves at different heights, given the added security. The store still requires human employees on site who check IDs and assist customers. Warren, who runs another liquor shop south of downtown Seattle, admits there are trade-offs with this technology. Some people don't want to participate, and that's lost revenue. But for Warren, it's worth it. Technology can help to bring brick-and-mortar retail back, he said. Retailers are willing to embrace technology. Let me read that again. It says, retailers that are willing to embrace technology are going to be the ones that succeed. Let me put this into perspective, guys. So in response to this rash of retail theft going on everywhere at all these stores, grocery stores, retail stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, everywhere else, they're going to be rolling out either this Amazon One payment system or something similar. As we talked about this at a London Aldi's. They had something similar to this that we talked about just a couple of months ago. But what they're going to do is you will not be able to enter the store until they get your payment information. And again, at that point, they don't care what you walk out with. They just want to be able to charge it to something, to somebody. So that's how they'll combat the retail theft. And again, this is $100 billion loss for retailers. $100 billion a year. We read earlier the Target CFO said it was $400 million last year from retail theft. And that's only going up because of these policies intentionally put into place. And these policies are going to drive these stores to have to do this to prevent the theft. And of course, as we just read in this article where he said, retailers that are willing to embrace technology are going to be the ones that succeed. Well, that infers the ones that won't succeed. So as we read in that article, he says, well, some people didn't like this and they said, I'm not going to shop there. And so they lose that revenue, but they don't care, because if you and I say, well, we're not going to shop here, that's fine. We'll lose your business, but we'll gain that back by not having all this theft, all this inventory shrinkage that hits our bottom line. So that'll more than offset your shopping somewhere else. But in the meantime, you go shop somewhere else where they don't have this system. Well, all the thieves and robbers are going to target those stores. And how are those stores going to be able to compete with the ones that are using this technology if they're losing millions of dollars in inventory per year? They're not going to be able to compete. So they're either going to be driven out of business, or they will be driven to have to implement this technology to the point where you and I will not be able to enter a store without scanning something, whether it's a QR code, a palm print, our irises. We've seen all of these things that they're trying to roll out. And once we do that, guys, we're in this system. Guys, all of this is setting the stage for them to be able to control everything about us, know everything about us, have our biometric data, track us where we go, track what we're buying and selling. And again, I know this may sound conspiratorial, but I want to pull up this cartoon. I know plenty of you have seen it, but this is what I feel like right now. So you got the cow up here. He's pointing to the meat packing plant and saying, guys, that's where this is all headed. And of course, this cow's saying, I see Mr. Conspiracy Theory is at it again. That's how I feel in video after video where I'm pointing to these things, and I get comments. I got a comment on the last video saying, well, I get a feeling this is all clickbait, right? As if I didn't have a better way to spend my time than to try to think up clickbait items for videos so that I could get as many views, I guess, so that I can make money. Guys, if my goal, if my intention was to make money, then I wouldn't have a channel on Bible prophecy. I'd do one on personal finance or stocks or bonds or gold or something, and I'd have all sorts of affiliate links and products to sell. So, guys, I'm pointing this out because this is the job God has given me to do, to be a watchman, similar to this cow. The Bible says if the watchman sees the invading army coming and he doesn't warn the city, then their blood is on his hands. Same as if this cow didn't say anything, well, then these cows, their blood is on his hands because he knew and didn't say anything. He didn't point it out. Trying to point this out the best I can, where this is all headed. We see all of these technologies converging. They're telling us that the mark of the beast system is coming into place, this technological system that will allow them to control who can buy or sell, that will allow them to track everywhere we go, everything we do. This isn't a conspiracy theory. In fact, the Bible flatly says so, because this is what the Bible says. This is from Revelation 13, verses 16 through 17. It says, he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. That is the mark of the beast. And of course, we read in Revelation 13:7, and the beast was allowed to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And he was given authority to rule over every tribe and people and language and nation. In other words, the entire world. Guys, for generations, people have wondered, how is all of this possible? The things we just read about in Revelation. We're seeing in real time in the world around us how these things will be possible and are possible and are becoming possible, the ability to control who can buy or sell, who can even walk into a grocery store and knowing who they are. And again, I'm not saying that Amazon One or Palm Pay or anything like that is the mark of the beast. It is not. The mark of the beast will come at the midpoint of the tribulation. And while it will be connected in this economic way that we read about in Revelation, the mark of the beast is a clear, conscious decision to worship Antichrist and to reject the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Bible is very clear about that, so people won't accidentally take the mark of the beast. The things we're looking at right now are not the mark of the beast. However, this is all setting the stage for the mark of the beast to roll out. And that tells us how close we're getting to that tribulation period. What it's telling us is that Jesus could come back at any moment, guys, any moment. So how are you living your life now? Do you know the Lord Jesus Christ? Are you sharing the gospel and the good news with others that while we were still sinners, Jesus died on the cross? He spilled his blood as payment for our sins so that we could be reconciled with God, and that's a free gift. We don't earn it by good works. It's a gift that Jesus has given us, as we should be spreading that good news as much as we can, because seeing stories like this tells me the time is short. And again, I think this retail theft, this epidemic that we're seeing, is intentionally being pursued as policy in order to push the retailers into implementing the system, which of course they won't share that third-party data with the government. That's what Amazon tells us. Do you really believe that? If you believe that, again, leave your comments below. But I don't believe that. So let me know what you think. Am I way off? Maybe I'm being conspiratorial or putting together clickbait videos. But guys, you can see it plain as day. We're reading the same things. We're looking at the same things. We're seeing these things happen. And Jesus said, when you begin to see these things happen, look up. Your salvation draws near. Guys, Jesus is coming back. So leave your comments. Hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. When you do that, more people see these. God willing, I will see you on Monday. Bye. If you want to learn more about the end times and Bible prophecy, make sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter and get your copy of my free ebook, 7 Signs of the End Times. Just follow the link in the description to get your free book. Also, make sure to check out all of my books. Just look up Britt on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iBooks, Google Books, Kobo, or anywhere books are sold. Thanks for watching today, and until next time, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith.